Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing an October TBR. I don't normally do TBRs because I don't set them for myself. I am very much a mood reader. Sometimes I want to read contemporary, sometimes I want to read high fantasy, sometimes I don't feel like reading it at all, sometimes I want to start a completely new series even though I'm 4 books into another one. So like I said, I don't normally set TBRs for myself, but October is my favorite month of the entire year, and I just have some spooky sort of books that I have been setting aside and really wanting to read. So let's get into the ones that I have. So first on my TBR is The Diviners by Libba Bray. It is hands down one of my favorite series. I think it might be like my second favorite series. My first is the Illuminae series by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I thought that series was amazing, but so is this one, and the 4th book is coming out next year in February. So I want to reread this. I read The Diviners like 5 years ago, I think. I read this first book about 5 years ago. And then just last year, I read the 2nd and 3rd books, but since the 4th book, King of Crows, is coming out in February, I really just want to reread the series so that I am ready to like finish it off. And so I'm starting with The Diviners, obviously. So I'm reading this month. It's set in like the 1920s in New York. It's about this group of kids who all have special abilities. Our main character, Evie, is like a reader, a seer, so she can hold on to objects and pull memories from them. There's another kid who can turn himself invisible. It's just, I haven't read it in a while, so I'm having difficulty pulling up the characters. But basically the town is overrun with ghosts, and there's one in particular who is very malicious and who is murdering people. And I honestly just love this series. Like, anything set in the 1920s I think is amazing, and I'm just so excited to reread the series. Next on my TBR is The Black Witch by Laurie Forrest. I have been wanting to get into this series, and when I was at Barnes & Noble a couple weeks ago, I picked it up. It's about this girl who's from a really powerful witch family, but she has no abilities whatsoever. She wants to be an apothecary and mix potions and heal people. So she goes to this really like prestigious Ivy League school and realizes there are a ton of people there who are enemies of her family. So she's dealing with that, and I just think it's super cool. I haven't read a book about witches in quite a long time. It's just not something that a lot of people are doing anymore. I feel like fae characters are super big right now. When I read Throne of Glass, there are witches in that, but they're not the main focus. And they're very different from like the witches that are probably in this book, so I'm really excited to start it. Next up, I have House of Furies by Madeline Rowe. I have read a couple of other books by her. I think the first book is Asylum, and it was amazing. It's set on the East Coast, and it's about ghosts, and they're in a sanitarium, and it was so good. So when I saw that she had another series that was out that I don't know how I didn't know about it, I decided to pick this up. And I also think that this cover is gorgeous, this like deep blue. It's about this girl who flees a boarding school, and she ends up at this like, I want to say halfway house, but I know that that's not what it is. She's staying at like a little cottage. And so the whole reason that she left the boarding school was because it was just punishment every single day. Like, that seemed to be the only thing that they were doing. And now that she's at this house, she thought that she was escaping. But it seems like the owner of the house and his like staff that work there are also into that. So they're doling out their own judgments onto the guests that are living there. And she meets a boy named Lee who she's super concerned about. And so they're like teaming up together, I'm assuming, to escape. And again, it's creepy, and I'm so excited. October, like I said, is one of my favorite months, and I just want to sit in bed all day and read and enjoy creepy books right now. I actually don't like scary movies for some reason, but with these I can separate myself with scary movies, I always end up with nightmares, and I just can't. I know that they're fake. I understand that. I always end up with nightmares. I know that they're not real, but I just have trouble separating the two. But for some reason, when I read creepy books about murderers or anything like that, I'm fine. So I'm still excited though. And the fourth book on my TBR is The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones. I actually don't know anything about this book. I saw that it was in a fairy loot box, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Books with Chloe pulled it out, and the edition that they have is actually white in the background and gold, but I love this black. I think this is a gorgeous cover, and it's gold on the inside. And I know she read the synopsis, but honestly, I just thought that the cover was so gorgeous and I wanted to read it. So I picked it up at Barnes & Noble after like a rough day at work, which I really shouldn't be spending any money because I'm trying to save up for a car, which I will be getting soon, but I really just couldn't help myself. Every time I go to Barnes & Noble, I'm like, oh, look at this. And I'm trying to catch up on so many books from last year and the year before that I just didn't get to read. So it's not smart for me to be buying new books, but I don't care. So I have two more books left on my TBR that I actually don't have. The first one is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I have heard mixed reviews about this. Some people liked it, some people didn't like it, but I want to decide for myself. I read Six of Crows, Crooked Kingdom, and King of Scars, and I really enjoyed all of them. So that is something that I want to pick up. I just haven't yet. And I might not. We'll see if I can get through these 4 books first, but it's about a secret society in New York, and I mean, who doesn't want to read about secret societies? That just sounds so good to me. So I might pick it up. I might hold off until November. We'll see. The last book on my TBR is Gideon the Ninth. I believe that's the title. I feel like I get it mixed up with Ninth House all the time. That just sounded so interesting to me, and it doesn't come out until October 9th. So I have pre-ordered it. I believe it's shipping on the 9th and should get to me towards the end of the month. From my local Barnes & Noble, I, again, also really didn't know what it was about, but just based on the cover, I thought it looked amazing. And again, it's October. I want to read creepy books, so I added it to my TBR. That is all the books that I plan on reading. I'm not going to be too strict about sticking to it. The 4 that I currently have with me are the ones that I want to get to right away, especially The Diviners and House of Furies. In September, I only read 3 books, one of which was on audiobook, and one that took me like 3 weeks, which is ridiculous, and I hope that doesn't happen in October. I hope that my momentum and excitement for it being October will keep me moving forward and reading more, because I really do want to hit 45 books by the end of this year, so I'm just gonna keep trying to go. That's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! So yeah, that's it. Let me know down below what you are reading for October. Give me some recommendations of your favorite spooky books. I definitely have a ton of other ones that I want to get to eventually. These are just the 4 that I decided for this month. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!